Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So in today's video,
What's up, ladies? Pay attention. Look, these men, especially the ones that you have been connected to, but the situation really didn't get anywhere. Like, it didn't end up in a good relationship, or it was a toxic relationship, or it only, end up being like a hookup type of situation. Look, let me tell you, these men be laying tricks, honey. Look, they speak in intentions because men understand too that men understand that energy transfers and that everything vibrates. And so because of that, when these men been doing little special stuff for you, but yet it still hasn't blossomed and developed into what you really truly desired it to be, but yet you still hooked on this person and dealing with this person, it may be because they're laying tricks. Men can, you know how we always want a man to bring us some food? What if before he bought that food, he told that food, make sure she give me some sex? You know what I'm saying? What if, before he bought you that drink, that weed, you know what I'm saying? Before he lit that candle, before he sprinkled them rose petals on the floor, that he didn't set those intentions before he poured you that glass of wine or liquor, or gave you that X pill or that Molly or whatever you do to get your goat. See, we've been sitting here like, oh yeah, men, why do you think men do things for us? They're constantly giving us tokens of something of them so that we are programmed to them. Be careful, ladies. These men are really tricky. And I know a few that, they would never admit it, but hey, I know the spell work they done tried to put on me to try to keep me around. I'm no different from no other woman. So guess what that means? If they do it to me, they done did it to other women. I wasn't the first, and if I was the first, I was definitely not the last. So pay attention, women. It's a reason why we turn in a putty in the men's hands. And it ain't because we digmatize. Or if we digmatize, what did they do to digmatize us? Because half of them, sex game is it's mediocre, to say the truth. But it's still not just sex. I'm telling you, they doing magic. Pay attention. Look, don't get digmatized and don't get put under the spells, okay? Get your shit together, ladies. Wake the fuck up.
yeah, this is not new to me because of where I come from. But usually it is women that have that stigma like placed on them, that when you see a woman whose husband kind of takes care of her, our boyfriend loves her, takes care, provides for her, is always lovey-dovey with her, and so on and so forth, people automatically associate it with, oh, she must have done something to him. To the point that when a man changes diapers, it's almost like a no-no. Your man shouldn't be changing diapers. He shouldn't be washing clothes. He shouldn't be cooking. So when they see men doing that, it's like you've done something to them. But when it comes to men, it's hush-hush. And a lot of people don't talk about it. But the truth of the matter is a lot of men do use these type of things on women, okay? And because women are the ones who have the stigma placed on them, a lot of people do not look at men when it comes to these things, okay? So I'm glad that people are actually talking about this. Yeah, there was someone I know whose husband was about to do that to her, but fortunately for her, the person that her husband went to go and do the spell on her, the priest, the voodoo priest or juju priest that he went to, was a distant relative of the wife, okay? So the priest didn't do the spell, but he went to tell somebody who knew the woman to tell her that, hey, this person came here with this person's photograph, wanting me to do X, Y, and Z to her. And some of the things he requested were have her give him his money because they were here in the UK. Have her give him her money when she works, like do whatever he wants her to do, not say anything, basically bind or, bound her to him somehow, take her free will, from her, have her to be submissive to him and do whatever he wants her to do. So there's so many other things, but Thankfully for her, the person was a distant relative of hers. So that priest told a family member of hers, and the message got to her, right? And when this man was caught, he was lying. But fortunately for her, she got the chance to divorce him. And so this didn't happen to her. But a lot of men do that. So if you are in a relationship, be very, very careful. So let's get into some of the stories that some people have shared with regards to this and some of the signs to look out for if your man is doing something like this to you. And I'll come back and talk a little bit more. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you.
A lot of people think that only women do witchcrafts or love spells to get the men that they want, but a lot of men do it too. And I found that out because somebody who was close to me told me that they did it, and that was the person that I least expected to do something like that. And the reason why he told me, which I found was so weird, why he was even telling me in the first place, was because he wanted to try to prove to me that if he wanted to sleep with me, that he could do a spell to make me sleep with him. And I'm like, no, you can't. You cannot make me do nothing that I don't want to do. And if you do anything or try to do anything to me to make me want to sleep with you, that's witchcraft. That's manipulation. So he was showing me a picture of this girl that he was talking to, and was like, she have a boyfriend or whatever. He said, but if I wanted her to sleep with me, I could. And he's like, if I wanted you to sleep with me, I could. And he starts to explain to me how he would go about doing it. He takes out his wallet and he shows me something in his wallet. It's like, I don't know what it was. It looked like some kind of gel paste thing. I don't know what it was. And he told me all he has to do is rub that thing and ask it for what he wants, and it will do it. And he starts talking about how he does candle work. He has candles that he lights, and he would speak into the candles, and the candle flame will get bigger, and some whatever, some weird shit. And he's like, oh, but this is not evil because I use Bible verses. A lot of witches and warlocks, a lot of people who do voodoo, they use the Bible to do evil. So then he's like, he could do something to make me dream of him, or any girl that he wants, to make them dream about him, like to plant himself in the dream, and he can have sex with the person in their dream, and that will make them want to have sex with him in real life. And I'm like, what kind of freaky voodoo ass shit is this? Like, why would you even want to do that? If you meet somebody and the person does not want to sleep with you, why would you go as far as trying to manipulate them spiritually to want to sleep with you? What really threw me off is the fact that he kept saying, oh, if I wanted to sleep with you, I could do that to you. If I wanted to sleep with you, I could do that to you. For him to say that and constantly keep repeating it, you cannot be trusted. Because it's almost like you have it in your mind that you want to sleep with me. Because I'm not entertaining you in that way, you're willing to go as far as putting my name in a candle and speaking to the candle and rubbing your hand on some kind of thing to put yourself in my dream, to try to manipulate my dreams, or just manipulate me spiritually to try to get me to sleep with you. And after he tells me this, I'm looking at him weird. He's like, oh, don't look at me like that. I don't want you to think of me in no kind of way. I do think of you in a different type of way now, because I never thought that you would be the kind of person to do that. Because he doesn't look like the type of person to do that, a lot of people wouldn't think that he would do that. And that's why, as a woman too, as a man, you have to be careful who you sleep with, because you might be sleeping with somebody who might be dibbling and dabbling in some kind of weird spiritual, voodoo, ritualistic, occult kind of thing that you don't know about. And now, because you sleep with that person, you open yourself up to whatever it is that they're doing. After that day, I never spoke to him again. Because that just threw me off completely. And I think it was the next day I can't remember if it was a dream or a vision of a black Bible with a snake in it, and God reminded me of him when I saw that. So I don't really know what the significance of that is, but I think that was God's way of telling me that he wasn't using the Bible for good. He think that he is, but he was using the Bible for evil. But yeah, be careful out here, because a lot of the times these things are not written on people's faces. Somebody can look very much normal. He's a normal looking person, very much normal, and you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. A lot of people get themselves into some spiritual stuff that they don't even realize that is opening doors to a lot of demonic activity, because they're thinking that is not evil, because just because you don't call on a demon or you're not calling on Lucifer, that does not mean it's not evil. There are different types of evil. There are different doors. There are different levels. So just because it may be level 1 does not mean that if you don't get deeper and deeper and deeper, you will not get to level 5, because that's how it starts. You open a door, but somebody would go and sleep with him, and now all of a sudden your whole life falling apart because you sleep with somebody who's basically a warlock, because that's what he basically is, a male witch.
One of my mutuals asked me, how do you know somebody put a love spell on you? And it made me want to tell my story about how I found out that someone put a love spell on me. So 2016, summer 2016, I met this guy in a random grocery store, and I absolutely was just not interested in him. But he knew my brother, he knew my mother, and he was very well known in the community for being like, I don't know, like the second coming of Dr. CB or something. So I was absolutely not attracted to him whatsoever. It was all for superficial reasons, but it doesn't matter. It was my free will. I was not attracted to him, and I was not interested in dating him. But he had a God complex, and he did not believe that anything he desired, he couldn't attain, including people. So at the time, I was dating someone else who just so happened to be a student of his. So needless to say, the guy that I was dating held him to a high regard. I did not care because I did not put him on a pedestal because I did not know him and I did not care about him. So I told him, like, I'm dating someone else. I'm not interested, blah, blah, blah. He was very persistent, definitely laid it on very, very thick, and told me that, well, I'll always be a friend to you if you ever need anything, if you have any questions. So like I said, he is very educated and knowledgeable about health and wellness, and, he made a name for himself. So fast forward a few months, my ex and I are no longer together. We broke up in a very tragic, tumultuous way, which I actually do believe he has something to do with. I think he did a breakup spell. That's another story for another day. The first person that popped in my head, mind you, I don't like this person, never thought about this person. First person that pops in my head is like to confide in was him for some crazy ass reason, right? So I call him, I'm frantic because of what I found out, which is how me and my ex broke up. I am literally like in shambles, and he's like, come over, tell me, like, we can talk about it in person, I'll make you some tea, da 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 da. So I went over, I was in a very vulnerable state, and I now know that he had began working on me already, and that's why he was the first person that popped in my mind. But at the time, I had no explanation as to why I was at this man's house. But when I left, I called my cousin. The first thing that came out of my mouth is, I think this man just put a spell on me. It felt like I was hit with a ton of bricks, and all of a sudden, this was the man of my dreams. This 5'6", 100-pound man was all of a sudden the man of my dreams. And I was conscious enough to know that something wasn't right, but I wasn't mature enough in my spirituality to know what to do about it. And I was also very, very vulnerable at the time.
Sex is the highest energy that you're ever going to create, right? It literally creates life. When y'all having sex with people and you're saying, this is my plea, that's a spell. And you tell him.
Who else did we have to say that?
About, Pastor Brian Meadows
Pastor
said that.
Brian said that.
A pastor said this?
He said that. He said that exact thing.
That's a spell. A lot of men, and that's what I mean. Men practice witchcraft all the time on these women. That's why these women go crazy. And he's like, oh, you acting crazy. Well, you told her, this is my pussy. She said yes. And now you are tethered. And you don't even know why you're going crazy because that guy treats you like crap.
Tethered.
That's the soul tie. That tethering is the soul tie. Y'all literally made a pact. Sex is the highest energy that you're ever going to create, right? It literally creates life from sex. So if you are saying chants, because that's literally what that is, while you're having sex, that is a whole ritual. He owns you until you break that soul tie, which most people don't even know how to break the soul tie. They don't even know that they have one. They just are living with it.
You wonder why you crazy about a man that doing you wrong. That man got a spell on you. You can't let him go. You can't let him go. Every time you try to leave, when you talk to him, he put them words in your ear. Them words are spell. The spell's still working. Every time you take him back, the spell gets stronger and stronger until you start getting depressed, stressed out, losing your mind, crying every day. You don't put on makeup no more. You don't dress up. You don't even comb your hair. You don't even go out no more. That man got you tied down with a spirit. I'm telling you now, there's a demon holding you down all day long, make you feel like you're nothing. However he feel inside, that's how you feel it. So if he can devalue you, he can make you sit still. He know you ain't going nowhere. He know you ain't gonna do nothing with your life, but wait on him. He gonna drain you until you ain't got nothing left. And he gonna leave you for another woman. Now you're gonna be sitting there crushed and broken. I'm telling you.
Let's talk about how you can know somebody is doing a love spell on you or have done love working. Let's say you ain't talking to nobody, but all of a sudden you get this overwhelming, intense amount of emotion, or you feeling this strong urge of love, but it ain't nobody around. Let's say you start getting to know somebody, and then all of a sudden you start to get the urge to do things that you would normally do, or settle for or go for things that you normally would not settle for or go for. You could be even possibly becoming very submissive to ideologies or things that this person wants to do with you that you normally wouldn't do. Every little thing could be reminding you of them. Pay attention to your dreams because they might show up in your dreams a whole lot. The way you feel about them may not be consistent. You know, it could be hot and cold. You could feel very intense emotion toward them 1 minute and the next minute you have no interest at all. You might start thinking about this person against your will, it feels like. It's almost like you're not trying to think about them or you're doing other things, but they constantly on your mind and you cannot make it stop. You might even develop an intense craving for them and find yourself missing them for no reason.
Yeah, all of this is true. So be very careful, especially when you're being intimate with certain men who want you to be like, say you love me, who is your man, and this and that. And a third, be very, very, very careful about those things. Be mindful of it. Don't say it back to them. They may probably be doing something to you, but you're unaware of it. Okay. So growing up, there was this lady who used to rent an apartment in my mom's house, right? And this woman, there was a lot of rumors about how she used voodoo or magic on men. And I was so young, I didn't understand all of that. But the truth is, there's so many men always around this woman. They will come to her house offering her gifts, giving her stuff, and they would come and meet one another there. Usually, if a guy was cheating on somebody and they met, there will always be a fight. But in this case, there was no fight. Like, the men understood why they were coming there. Some people will say, oh, she is an ex-worker. But the truth of the matter is, she wasn't an ex-worker, okay? She just had these men eating from the palms of her hand because there was a place at the time in Koforidua, if you know, that they say all these women go there to this special priest who does all these things for them. And when they came, they were some of the biggest girls, like the 8 girls of today. Around that time, and they were very beautiful women. So people will ask my mom, like, why would you put somebody like this in your house when you know the kind of work that she does? And my mom is like, usually when I ask her, she'll say they are men that she works with. So, but the thing is, if you work with all these men, why are all of them lining up at your door? And they are not fighting with each other. They are treating you like almost a goddess. People are offering you gifts, paying your rent, buying stuff for you. And it was like that. And there are men who do it as well. Okay. You see men that women are fighting over them, buying them stuff, doing things for them. And you're like, what is so special about this man? Why is everyone fighting? And people would usually associate it with the fact that, it's probably his sexual powers. But the truth of the matter is, it's not that. It's because he has these things that he uses on these women. So ladies, be careful out there. Be very mindful of these things. These things do exist. They do exist. And I know. So I'm telling you, okay, don't take them lightly. If you suspect that somebody has done that to you, please do the fasting, do the prayers, read the Psalm 91s and the rest. There's a lot of tips online. Go find help. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts and your opinions, your stories in the comment section, and I'll see you again with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.